Today we're going to be watching My Creation is Trying to Delete Me, which is another Minecraft ARG. This was recommended a lot in the comments of the last video, so I'm really excited to check it out. I really love horror. I really love Minecraft. I really love horror Minecraft. Ready to dive in? Please don't forget to subscribe. It helps out the channel a whole lot. Let's go! YouTube, did you shower today? YouTube, are you stinky today? Hopefully not.
I stumbled across Wupioif just a few weeks ago. A user on my Discord recommended the channel to me. At first, it seemed like little more than Minecraft beta gameplay footage, but there was something about it that hooked me, and I felt this odd—
Dude, holy fucking old Minecraft textures, hello! Oh my god, I miss old Minecraft. That water texture is so blue. It's like see-through now, it's like clear. Oh my god, the old wheat textures in the background. Oh my god. The beans lava! I miss the beans lava. Fuck, I miss old Minecraft so much.
desire to watch the entire series. And what I found is that hidden inside this seemingly boring channel is one of the most bizarre and fascinating Minecraft mysteries that I have ever seen. And it's completely unsolved.
Whippy. I don't know how to say it.
The series opens with a rather unique title card. If you are content, welcome. Relax and enjoy.
What the hell?
The player mines for a few moments before we switch to a shot in a house. Hello everyone. Today we will be completing the glass cathedral. The cathedral is already partially constructed, and the player descends into the mine to gather some additional cobblestone. This is not a totally new world. In fact, the player already has a diamond pickaxe and some infrastructure in the mine, but it's still pretty early on. The game version is Minecraft Beta 1.4. However, we will later learn that the series is being recorded in 2025. After a few minutes in the mine, they find a dungeon, but there's nothing there besides a skeleton. Then there's a cut.
Okay, so could you say that this is like a retro ARG? Technically, like the old Sonic ones and like the old creepypastas. Old Minecraft, but in 2025. What's happening to my game?
A zombie got my dog.
Huh?
We can see the smoke particles rising up. The good boy must have just died.
No!
We have not actually seen the dog in the series, although we can hear it bark in their house. The player's health is low from the scuffle with the zombie, so they kill some pigs and cook the meat. Then it's back to the mines. They're apparently going to need a lot of cobblestone for their cathedral. They will also need glass, so the player heads to the desert with a shovel. Once they've—
You calling old Minecraft retro just made me turn to dust? Shit, man, I fucking turned myself to dust saying that. I remember when Minecraft came out, dude.
Once they've gathered enough, they put it into the furnaces. The player then enters the cathedral and begins building the upper layer. This goes on for several minutes before the player goes to sleep.
You can only sleep at night, guys.
It's at this point in the video that we see something a bit unconventional. A command telling us to pause the video. Eat if you are hungry, drink.
Okay, chat, make sure you go get a little snacky snack and some water because the spooky ARG guy says so.
If you are thirsty, I recommend water. Take as long as you need. This is a strange thing to see in a YouTube video, especially nowadays. Yet, it is a thoughtful and caring sentiment. In fact, the videos on this channel buck YouTube trends consistently. They are slow-paced and peaceful, with extended building sequences with the Minecraft music in the background. But don't let the speed of it fool you. This is one of the most interesting Minecraft channels that I've ever seen.
Dude, old Minecraft textures hurt my head so bad because of how bright it is. Holy crap.
Once the water break is complete, the player returns to construction. They retrieve the glass from their furnace and begin adding the cathedral windows. They drop off the ledge, but unfortunately fail the MLG water bucket multiple times, which slowly drains their health. 13 minutes into the video, the player says that they are almost done. They continue building until night falls, where they take a rest in their bed. Then it's back to work on the cathedral's roof. They fail the water bucket drop for a third time, to which they say, humiliating.
Humiliating?
Soon,
What
the cathedral
fuck?
is nearly complete, missing just one more thing. The player goes to the forest and chops down some trees, being sure to replant them. As night falls, they hear a cave noise. This prompts them to return to their bed. Finally, they're done, and we see the
Okay, I don't like how they don't have a door for their house. Wasn't this before water drop was possible? Oh, is it? That might be why.
The glass cathedral is a storage place. Chests adorn its pillars, and the player admires their work. At 1927, the render distance suddenly changes, increasing the amount of fog. But this may have just been the player using the keyboard shortcut. The video concludes with a screen that says, "Thank you for watching Glass Cathedral." The video ends with a time-lapse of the player mining cobblestone, alongside a cat dancing to the sped-up music.
Banger. Banger.
The first video on this channel seems to be essentially normal. There's nothing that is obviously incorrect or strange about it. There are, however, a few subtleties that are intriguing. The video footage itself isn't clean, it has some sort of effect on it. Furthermore, all of the gameplay is letterboxed, it isn't full screen. Presumably, this is to give space for the captions, but it is a bit of a strange choice. Speaking of strange choices, why exactly is the player building a huge cathedral so early on in their world? The house isn't even complete, the floor is—
Yeah, but they have a diamond pickaxe. So I don't know if I'd say it's early. Also, I do a lot of big builds early on, so really, it ain't that bad. It ain't that weird, I promise.
missing and there are no doors on the back side.
Yeah, I don't like that,
What is so
though.
important about this cathedral? This video is relatively slow-paced.
Relative. 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 Okay.
Please watch in your free time. If you are content, welcome. Relax and enjoy. Hello everyone, I want to build the statues today. This video is entitled Family. The player heads into the cathedral to pick up some supplies, and we can see that they've played the game a bit since the previous episode. After a brief mining session, the player asks where they should put them. They decide on the water.
The water.
The player goes into the lake and pillars up. They begin constructing using smooth stone and cobble. After a moment, they step back to observe, but it's not quite right.
That's not right. Dude,
They
you have
continue
half a
building,
health
but
bar.
night is falling. The player runs to their house to sleep. But suddenly, they're awoken by a zombie which immediately kills them. This is actually an old feature in Minecraft Beta where enemies could spawn as you tried to sleep, like a monster under the bed. The player recovers their items and kills the zombie. During the next
Wait, I didn't know that. That's actually so scary. What the fuck? Dude, and they say Minecraft's not a horror game. It was intended to be one from the start. Changed my mind.
day, the statue is completed. The player goes into the water and turns around, giving us our first look at it. Isn't it just a bit, I don't know, off? Why did they choose to build this? The player enters the cathedral. Through the window, the statue is just barely visible in the distance. The player says that this is perfect.
Barely visible? Fucking where, bro? I can't even see it. Oh, I can see it on my second monitor. What the hell?
Back on the ground, the player says that the statue wants a friend, so they construct a second statue, this one sitting on the grass like a frog.
Okay. Little bizarre. What the fuck?
This is the first truly anomalous moment of the series. Are these the words of the statues? Where's this text coming from? The video cuts
What
back to
the
gameplay
hell?
footage, and it's not immediately clear if the player saw the same thing that we did. They carry on as if they didn't. As they return to the mine, we can see that they've moved their bed underground, presumably to stop further zombies from attacking. Back on the surface, they realize that they're going to die, so they go to the farm to gather some wheat. However, they hear another cave noise. The player looks around. The statue is there, as well as an island with a flower, but there's nothing clearly wrong. Once they've solved their food issue, the player continues mining, going to sleep a few times. It's such a weird bed configuration, 2 sand pillars. About 8 minutes in, we discover that they are in fact going to build another statue. They return to the lake and think about where to place it. Then we hear another cave sound, coming from the right-hand side.
So he builds
When
into
the player
right,
turns, we can see that it came from the island. But the player doesn't seem to notice. In a fit of inspiration, they begin to construct the 3rd statue. The player says that it's fallen down, and it is prostrate in the lake. But to me, it kind of seems like it's bowing, and it's bowing in the direction
Fallen down, sad face. What the fuck?
of the cathedral. In a frenzy, the player constructs more and more statues, returning to sleep whenever night falls. Eventually, they say that they're all done. The player
Holy
steps back
shit! Bro got to work! What the hell? He went from 2 statues to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. God damn! He actually got to work on that one.
admire their work. A grand total of 11 statues. Some are humanoid, some look like animals, some look like cubes. They return to the cathedral and look at them through the window. What exactly is the
This might be Easter Island.
player doing here? The statues have a really odd and unsettling nature. They feel foreign to the landscape, something we don't expect to see in Minecraft. What is their purpose?
To pass butter.
For now, we have no
Oh
choice
my
but to
God.
continue on to the next video, called My New House. It opens with the player walking around in their mind. We again see the notice informing us that what we're watching is going to be slow-paced. The player is looking at their statues. Can we say hi? Somehow, the statues
the
respond.
fuck?
They have
Good
red
job!
text that says, hi. But this is not strange to the player. They seemingly expected the statues to be able to talk, and they respond with, good job. Back in their house, the player says that they need a pit. In the desert, they mark a
what?
perimeter and begin leveling it out. But they say that such a large project will take time, which is why they have something special planned for today. As the player walks past the cathedral, they hear yet another cave sound.
Oh god,
They
that's
turn to
so
look
creepy.
around, but there's nothing there.
I hate the
The
cave
special plan for
sounds.
today is to upgrade their house. I'm so excited we chose to do this. I've been sleeping in the tunnel for so long. The player removes the roof line before briefly hearing yet another cave sound. Again, there's nothing
Dude, Minecraft had no business making those cave sounds so scary. I swear.
there, and the player decides that a bridge will look good. They construct it. Then, they build the first floor of their new house out of sandstone before sleeping for the night. Progress continues as the player adds a second floor. They go to the forest and get some mushrooms for under the tower, placing them in the dark space beneath. Then they continue building.
Let's go, mushroom farm. My favorite.
In the evening, the player returns to look at the statues. Hello? There is no response. So sleepy. Hello? The player is back in their house, and they've once again been awoken by a zombie. They kill it, go to sleep, and it happens another time. They go to sleep again, and it happens a third time with a skeleton. Oh, come on! Finally, they're able to rest.
Piss.
The next day, they return to the farm where they hear another cave sound. But then something odd. The player says, sorry. Perhaps they feel they've done something wrong. Could the cave sound have come from the giants? They have heard a cave sound from this location before. There must be something in the vicinity that's causing it. Whatever that may be, it's back to building. After a few more minutes, we can see that they've got the structure of their house
Yo,
complete.
wait,
On the top
it
floor,
looks
the
sick.
player begins building the attic. As they remove their torches, they hear another sound.
Bro, fuck no, it's so dark. His house looks sick though. He's got like a wizard tower going on.
But there's nothing to be seen. The player constructs a gravel path. They pick up some flowers for under the bridge. They place them down and continue to work.
That's odd.
As night falls, the player goes to their new house and sleeps in their new bed for the first time.
Dude, how
It is
many
much more
floors
comfortable
is
than the old
there? Damn.
The next day, the player constructs the second floor to their main house. As they clean up their scaffolding, they notice something strange under the bridge. The red flowers are gone. Where did they go? The player theorizes that it was too dark.
What?
Construction continues. A path, and then a kitchen. But back underneath the house, something strange has happened again. The set of red flowers on the far side has also disappeared. What?
What?
Let's move these to a brighter place. The player breaks the flowers and replants them along the path. Then they add doors to the kitchen, thus completing their build for the day.
Okay, surely the flowers don't go missing again, right?
All done.
Well done. Damn. 10 out of 10, bro.
How do we know that this channel is pronounced Wupioif? Well, each video actually has a tag that explains how to say the name. It's not all that important, but it's worth mentioning nonetheless. The next video takes place 1 week later, and it's called Their First Words. Hello everyone. I'm going to work on our docks. There's an odd moaning sound in the background, but we learn that it's coming from the statues. They've been very talkative lately. I think that a better dock will cheer them up. As the player gathers materials from their house, the statues speak once more.
Oh, what the
Construction
hell?
continues, but suddenly the music cuts out. The statues recognize this as a dock, but they continue to make
Ew, I got like a weird chill feeling. I don't know why. What the fuck? Ew. I like the combination of like the weird sound plus there was like another sound stacked underneath it. I don't know why though. It's really
noises
weird.
to the annoyance of the player. Hey, I'm working. Please be quiet.
He just wants to yap, man.
There's a cut to later in time, and we hear the statues moaning again. Oh my goodness. Be quiet, please.
The mosquito in your ear at 3 a.m.
I'm trying to build you something. The statues calm down. Thank you. But they aren't quiet for long.
Did you hear the fucking water? There was something in the water, man.
However, it cuts out. Hello. Please be quiet. This seems to confuse the statues. What? The audio of the statues sound.
That's the sound I make when I'm playing with the fan. When you talk into a fan to make that silly like fan noise. You know what I'm talking about?
It's almost like a very slowed down voice. In fact, if we speed it up 4 times, we can hear that the statues appear to be saying something.
Iron.
To me,
Iron?
it sounds like desire.
Iron.
But it
He's obviously saying need iron, bro. He needs iron. He needs an iron sword. Give him an iron sword, please. He just wants to play the game.
isn't completely clear. Let me know what you think in the comments.
He's
Construction
saying
on the
need
dock
iron!
continues.
He has iron deficiency. He needs iron. Bro, this guy always puts his bed in like the darkest part of the house and then gets confused whenever he gets attacked by monsters at night. He's kind of pissing me off. Our main character is not very likable right now.
The player hears a cave sound after they awake. The next task is a path to the farm. The player clears out the space beneath the house and extends it. Just as they finish, we hear the statues again.
I mean, do you sleep with your lights on? What if I do? I'm afraid of the dark. I do sleep with my lights on, actually. I'll have you know.
Do you like the dock? Again, the music cuts out. The statues do not respond.
That dock fucking sucks, bro. You need to make it look better. I would be pissed too, personally.
Hello? Hello? Thank you for being quiet. Are you okay? Hello? The statues seem to enjoy calling out to the player. In fact, they enjoy it so much that it distracts them and they request silence. The statues are capable of speaking English words, although it seems as though they are limited in their ability to communicate. Sometimes their moans sound like the words they're saying. Other times it's more vague and the player doesn't know what they mean. The player does appear to be doing things for the statues. They construct a dock for them. But their true purpose remains somewhat mysterious.
Suspicious. Intermission. Huh?
A few months ago, I was sponsored by Displate. For those who don't know, Displates
Holy
are metal
crap, it's
posters
the
which are a unique
narrator!
alternative to canvas or prints. I recently moved into a new place, and my first thought was how I could get some more of these because I liked them so much. So I reached out to Displate to see if they'd sponsor me again, and they agreed.
Oh wait, I have one of these. They're actually really cool.
It wasn't hard to find designs that I was interested in. There are over 2 million artworks available in the Displate catalog. You can discover new, original art, or choose from officially licensed images. They're available in 3 different sizes and finishes. One of the best parts about Displate is its magnetic mounting system. It's tool-free and safe for your walls, no drilling and no holes. Displate also has a new custom print feature. True fans of the channel will know why I chose this photograph for my custom print.
I do not know.
The process is super easy.
I guess I'm not a true
fan. Just upload your image and the tool will take care of the rest.
Wait, does that mean that I could put myself on a display? Pause. Okay, because like I actually have one, so I was like, wait a minute. they're actually pretty decent quality too, like unironically. This is funny because like I didn't even know he'd have this ad in here. That's so funny actually.
Use the link in the description to grab an exclusive discount for your Displates and use my code RGN to get 1 Displate for 27% off or 2 or more Displates for 35% off. Thanks so much to Displate for sponsoring today's video.
Thank you, narrator. Sandcastles. Interesting. Wonder what that's about.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to build a sandcastle. The player begins by crafting some shovels. Then they head into the desert to dig up the large amounts of sand that will be required. We will need a lot of sand, obviously. As night falls, the player returns home to sleep. I don't know why everyone's been so quiet lately. They haven't said anything since the dock.
Didn't he ask them to shut up? Okay, so he wants them to shut up and now he's complaining that they're not talking. Man, I mean, That was a piss poor doc, to be honest. I would not want to talk either.
Hopefully the sandcastle will get them talking. This is a notable inversion. In the previous video, the player built a dock because the statues were talking too much. Now, they're adding a sandcastle because they're not talking enough. It almost seems like what the player is choosing to construct isn't actually intended for the statues. They're just hoping that they randomly like whatever they choose to make. After digging for a few minutes, the player stumbles across something strange in the distance. One of their statues has moved. What?
He's just checking out what you're doing, man. He's just saying hello. He wants to see what you're doing. He's curious.
I didn't build you here.
No.
The player is understandably confused. They return to their base and look at the statues by their house. Is one of you missing? The answer is yes. If we compare this shot...
Bro made fucking weeping angels in Minecraft, man? You've got to be fucking kidding me. Someone get Doctor Who.
...to when the player first completed the giant...
Is that even the name of the doctor? I don't know. I don't know anything about Doctor Who.
we can see that the little cube one in the back is gone. The player wonders if this...
What the fuck? Hold on. What the fuck? That was really fucking weird. Hold on. Oh my god, that scared the fuck out of me. I don't know what the fuck that was, man. Ooh. That was a weird fucking noise. That was a really weird fucking noise. I don't think that was the video. Hold on, let me go back. I don't think that was the video. I think that was in my house.
The player wonders if this is why the statues have been so quiet, so they create another cube statue, just like new.
What was that, man? That was so creepy. I don't know what that was. Hopefully it was just like the wind or something. Must have been the wind.
I wonder when he moved. It's actually a bit difficult to pin down an exact moment. The cube statue is way in the distance, and there are very few shots where the player is close enough that it would be visible. It has certainly gone by their first words, but there is a shot in My New House where it seems to be missing as well. Perhaps this is why the statues were so talkative. They were trying to tell the player about their missing
that he
companion.
was missing.
The player continues getting sand for their castle, but after a few moments, we hear the statue in the distance. It calls out a few times, and the player hears it, moving towards it. The word is unmistakable.
Did he say help? It sounded like he said help.
The statue said, "Help."
Please.
Yo, is he British? He sounded like he had a British accent, low-key.
Please what?
Friend.
You want a friend?
Please.
Please help.
Okay. To me, it's not entirely clear what the statue wants. The player thinks that it's asking for a friend, but it could just as easily be referring to the player, calling them out and asking for help. If, say, something else had moved the statue, then it might be asking the player to return it home to its brothers. But the player interprets this to mean that the statue wants a friend, so they go back to the house. Do any of you want to live with your brother? No? Instead of breaking down an old statue, the player returns to the cube and constructs a new one, a parallel to the first time the statues were built. Even as this friend is in progress, the cube continues to ask for help, perhaps supporting the idea that it really wants something else. Regardless, the player finishes it and returns to digging sand. Just a bit more sand for the castle. Night approaches once more, and the player goes back to their house to sleep. In the morning, they mine some more sand, noting that they are all quiet now. Then they begin constructing the castle.
You guys think he followed a Minecraft YouTube tutorial to figure out how to build the castle, or do you think he just did it by himself? You know the ones where they give you like the exact measurements of like every part of the build?
The music is a somber piano track, and we suddenly realize that we haven't had any vanilla Minecraft music since the very first video. The piano plays a phrase that I find to be rather interesting. Let's take a listen. Now, it's not exactly the same, but I can't help but notice the similarities to a piece by one of my favorite composers, Arvo Pärt. There's a piece called Fratres, which is Latin for brothers. Let's take a listen.
Kinda sounds like it if it's like missing
There's a
some
distinct
notes.
similarity in several regards. The texture is the same, with slow chords interspersed with extremely low, rumbling piano sounds. The harmonic structure is very similar as well. Maybe it's a reach, but I wanted to draw the connection in case it isn't. In my mind, the similarity is quite clear. Construction of the sandcastle continues for several minutes. The player also constructs a small one on the shore of the lake. At one moment, the player stares out into the night, where we see a few faint lights in the distance. These are coming from the torches inside the eyes of one of the statues.
I was wondering what he put in there. I was like, what did he put in their
The player adds floors
eyes?
to the sandcastle, as well as stairs between them. Then, at last, they show us the completed structure.
Greenhouse. Oh lord, he's building another fucking house. Why is it always houses, man? Can we get a boat build? I want to see a pretty cool pirate ship build.
Today I'm going to build a greenhouse. I'm getting tired of hunting, and they've been so quiet. When the player returns to the desert, we see that the cube is still there, alongside his friend. Anyone there? Maybe a shiny new building will get them talking. This is the second time that the statues have fallen silent, and the second time that the player has chosen to build a structure to get them talking again.
I'm telling you, man, a
We
nice
hear a bit of a
boat.
strange sound as the player goes to sleep, like a creaking, perhaps.
Oh,
The player
that was the game? I thought that was my chair. Okay.
enters the mine to get gravel for the paths. We can see that their mine is much more, well, mined than it was previously. They construct a path to the sand pit. Then they clear out a plot of land for the greenhouse, using gravel to flatten it out. They kill a creeper that was lurking in a cave, and then return to their house to sleep. As they pass by the giants, the player says that they're sorry they told them to be quiet.
What the fuck was that?
There's that weird creaking noise again. This time, the player notices it.
It's in the fucking attic.
Hello?
Oh fuck no, bro. Why didn't you light that shit up? There's a fucking spider in there, man.
But as soon as they look in the attic, the sound goes away.
Fucking light it up! What are you doing? Put a fucking torch in there, man. Oh my god. Guys, can we bring back the old MC from our other season of Minecraft ARG? Because what the fuck? This guy sucks.
It's back to work on the greenhouse. More land needs to be cleared. Okay, before we make the greenhouse, I want plant plots.
Okay.
Night approaches, and the player returns to their house. There's nothing in the attic.
Torches, man. Fucking torches. Put a torch down.
And yet, we still hear a slight creaking sound as the player closes their eyes. No matter, it's back to work. There's a brief cave sound when the player is near the cathedral, but it doesn't slow their progress. The player adds some decorations to the path, and they say that they need to get more flowers, so they return to the forest to find some. While they're there, they stumble across a wolf. Puppy!
Puppy! Me when I get distracted whenever I'm building something, and then I go and I pick up decorations, and then I get distracted by something else.
I haven't had a dog in so long. The player retrieves a bone and tames the wolf, bringing it back to their house. Yay!
Yay!
A quick peek in the attic reveals nothing. I have never done this, but what do you think I should name him? The only comment on this video that actually has a suggestion is for the name Hector, so that's what I'll be calling the dog. It's back to the forest to gather more flowers. Then the player does something odd. They see a lone red flower and add a yellow one, saying, "Not alone." The meaning of this isn't clear. As the player walks away, the music cuts out. Back at the house, the player places their dandelions by the path. They then finally start construction on the greenhouse. Hi.
Ruff.
This time, there's no sound coming from the attic. Perhaps
Protecting
Hector has scared it
doggo.
away.
We love Hector.
The player keeps building the greenhouse, and they need a lot of wood. They look at the statues for a moment, but they remain silent. Night falls.
What the hell?
There's a cave sound as the player falls asleep, as well as a creaking. But when the player looks in the attic, there's again nothing to be found.
Put a torch down, man.
Greenhouse construction continues with oak logs for the outer frame. The player says that they want a bridge, and they clear out the trees that are in the way. They connect the greenhouse to the main house. Looks great.
Dude, I swear if the dog is, like, gonna go missing, can someone look up on that Does the Dog Die website and see if the dog dies so we don't... Fuck, man. Are the floorboards getting lower? I don't know. Are they? I don't think so. I think they've always been that height.
This time, the player hears both a creaking and a cave noise. But again, the attic remains empty. Construction progresses on the bridge.
Wait, what bridge?
As
There's
night
a bridge?
falls once more, the player says that they hope that Hector is safe here, presumably from whatever is in the attic. This time, though, there is no sound, and the player awakes without an issue.
I'm gonna need him to stop, like, getting rid of his spawn every single time he wakes up. Because every time he does that, he's canceling his spawn point, man. Come on.
The outer edge of the greenhouse is completed, and the player moves to the floor. They add water and begin to till the dirt, planting seeds in it.
Oh, yup.
Hi.
Hi.
The creaking has returned, but the attic is clear.
Dude, I'm sorry, but if he goes up in that attic and there's something up there, I might actually cry and pee myself. Fucking hell. I don't know, man. My heart jumps a little bit every time he goes up the attic. He's a little more bold than I am. I feel like if I heard the noises, I would just block it off and never go back up there.
Now, time for the roof of the greenhouse. It's built out of glass, and it takes the player a few minutes. They look out at the giants for a moment, but they are quiet. The greenhouse is nearly complete. The player surrounds it with flowers, installs a staircase, and adds exterior doors. Thanks to the bridge, it is now possible to reach the greenhouse from the main house. Ta-da!
Yippee!
In celebration of completing the greenhouse, the player crafts some TNT. They go to the desert and set it off.
Why?
To our new construction. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Yeah!
Oh, yup. Distraction.
This is the end of the video. Throughout this series, the player has been afflicted by cave sounds, but in this episode, there's another sound alongside them, a creaking coming from the attic. Just like the other cave sounds, it has no visible source. There doesn't appear to be anything in the attic whenever the player looks at it. The following video is called Subway.
We're building a fucking subway,
But the
bro?
introduction is a
Finally,
bit
something
different.
cool.
The text has a flipping effect on it, something we haven't seen before.
He just got better at editing.
Relax, enjoy.
Oh, yum.
Hello everyone. Sorry I've been gone for so long. Today we are going to build the subway. The player heads to the tunnel and begins mining. I'm clearing out the walls to fill them with cobblestone. I've made changes since the last episode. I hope you like them. There's something in my attic still. Sounds
Yo, bro, it sounds like you got a couple things in your attic. It sounds like you got a couple guys up there, not just like one.
like zombies. The player goes up the ladder to see that there are a horde of zombies there. They fight for a moment before returning down to regroup. They heal up, switch to a diamond sword, and kill the zombies.
That's what you
The
get when
attic
you
is
don't light
safe
up your
at
attic,
last.
dude.
But there's a little detail that's very easy to miss. When the player goes up for the first time, Hector is sitting patiently in the bedroom. However, when the player comes back down, Hector is active, following the player. They even have to command him to sit again before they can kill the rest of the zombies. This is a strange little moment. Why did Hector act without being commanded?
I thought they get up automatically whenever you're attacked. Maybe I'm wrong.
The crisis in the attic appears to have been averted.
A
The player
crisis?
returns to the subway and continues to work on the walls for several minutes. As night approaches, they head into their bedroom and fall asleep. There are no strange sounds coming from the attic. The player continues to work on the subway, replacing the varied walls with consistent cobblestone. The walls are done. Now we just need the ceiling and the floor. But as the player approaches the giants, we hear something odd. It sounds almost like a trumpet or a horn. The statues have not made this sound before. The player returns to their house and goes to sleep. There are no more creaking noises. Then
Well,
they
that's
begin
good.
constructing the floor. Once night approaches, they return to bed.
Hector is a good boy.
Oh, come on. Now there's a trumpet sound alongside the creak. This confuses
What
the
the
player.
hell?
That's it. The
Okay, but,
torch
like,
seemed to
fucking
do
finally,
something.
man.
We hear a harsh, brassy sound that fades away. Whatever was in the attic
Took
did
him like
not
3
like the light.
episodes to do that.
But why didn't the player just place a torch earlier?
Tease
Especially
ready?
when they found a horde of zombies. In fact, there are a few times when the player has kept places dark. When the flowers disappeared from under the bridge, they suspected that it was because it was too dark. Why not just place a torch?
Did you spot
Wouldn't
it?
that be
What? Was there something there? I didn't see anything.
Easier than moving the flowers? Well, no time to think about it. The subway has to be built.
Why is the
player
narrator
adds
not
more of the
saying
floor.
anything?
After a few minutes, they decide to give us a tour of what has changed recently. This is a fishing house.
A word? That's kind of cute. I actually like that.
I got rid of the garden here. This is a bridge.
Damn, thanks for pointing it
Working
out,
on the
man.
ceiling while the floor is in the furnace. Again, we hear the trumpet sound, but the player doesn't seem to care. They
Dude, I'm gonna need them to stop playing the trumpet so bad. It's like when you have a neighbor that won't stop playing instruments at 10 o'clock at night.
don't respond at all. It's getting dark.
What the Bruh. Are you fucking dead ass? What the fuck? What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? That came out of nowhere, man. Oh my god, what the— oh, hi, Greg. What the fuck, man? That scared the shit out of me. Oh my god, man. That actually scared the fuck out of me, man.
What the just happened?
That's what I'm saying,
Let's go through
dude.
this sequence step by step.
Can we
The
not?
player
I don't
goes
want
to
to
sleep,
relive
but the
that.
creaking noises have returned. As the player ascends the ladder to see what's happening, they're suddenly confronted by a bizarre black entity in the attic. The player is stuck. Why can't I move? As the entity continues, the player's messages are restricted and obscured. Then the video cuts. The entity itself talks to the player, but in a distorted, choppy way. Text flashes across the screen in various styles. Welcome back. Relax. Enjoy. I wanted to say hello. These words are meaningful. They're very similar to the text on screen at the beginning of every video. If you are content, welcome. Relax and enjoy.
Guys, I don't feel very relaxed right now after that. I'm not gonna lie.
The player also introduces themselves by saying hello when they explain what they're going to do in any given episode. However, they usually do not say welcome back, although they did in this video. Let's watch the introduction again.
Yeah, they did. Damn, that's crazy. The foreshadowing. Get better at editing. Get hunted by an entity. Great.
Welcome back is seen with the flipping text, followed by relax, enjoy in border text. This intro sequence is notably different from any other video we've seen thus far. Critically, relax, enjoy has the same font and style when it is spoken by the entity. We see the anomaly as a cutout of a red image for a few moments, and we hear the high-pitched trumpet sound each time. At the end, the entity appears to approach the player, and the video cuts to black. We then hear a new piano phrase with birds chirping in the background. Just as the intro is changed, so too has the outro. It's not immediately clear what happened during this sequence, but it is an extremely important moment in this series that we will need to keep thinking about. The following video is called Station. It opens with a new introduction, including the differently styled relax, enjoy.
Okay, I don't feel very relaxed anymore.
Then there's something we have
but...
not seen for this entire series, the main menu.
Huh?
The player is looking at their world. We can see that it is titled Beta Alpha Omega. This is where we can see that these videos were recorded recently. The world was last played in July of 2025. As the player selects it, they say that they hope that it's gone.
Huh?
When they
like
load
the
into the
thing?
world, it's back to normal. The entity is gone. The player is able
Did you guys see that whenever he like moved back and forth. I could have sworn there was a frame of the entity. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me, but I could have sworn I saw that.
To move. There's nothing in the attic, and the hotbar is unchanged from the last video. The purpose of this episode is to fix the attic, as well as build a subway station. The player chops out the ceiling and adds railings. Now it's not sealed off. Instead, it's a fully lit balcony open to the bedroom.
Yippee!
Then the player returns to the subway, quickly finishing up the floor of the tunnel. About 2.5 minutes in, we do hear another cave sound.
Well, yeah, because he has no torches in there,
But the
man.
player pays it no mind. I have been thinking, it's nice to know what was in my attic.
I think
The
I would have
giants make a
preferred
moaning
not to know.
sound, their first sound in 3 episodes. And it's nice that everyone is so quiet, which is a bit of an odd thing to say after that noise.
Suspicious.
But I think I miss the statues. Something odd is happening, and it's very difficult to catch. The player punches a sheep, picking up a wool block. But when they punch a second sheep, the wool block does not go into the hotbar, despite us
What
hearing the sound
hell?
of it being picked up. The same is true for the third one. As they approach the bridge, we see that there's a cactus block lying on the ground. After punching a fourth sheep, the player turns around to discover a skeleton being damaged by the cactus. They kill it with a sword. Where's that pig? Huh?
What the hell?
Pig?
What pig?
Well, there is one by the cathedral if we rewind, but it's on screen for a brief moment. Why would the player care about where the pig is? They return to their house and go to bed.
This is so strange. What the heck is happening, man?
There is no more creaking, and they sleep peacefully.
Yeah, Hector's still there. He's chilling.
They descend into the subway, light it up, and add the ceiling. Time for the station. The player breaks a misplaced block as they go down the tunnel. Back on the surface, the player says that they want to use lava for this build.
Love or what?
Did you catch it?
No.
Let's review the footage in slow motion. As the player descends, we hear the trumpets again. To the left, for the briefest of moments, we see the entity in the tunnel. The trumpets are loudest at this moment.
Oh, hi,
But when the
Greg.
player turns back, it's gone. They look around, but they can't find it, so they return to the staircase. The path they take is odd and meandering, and it leads them back to the main tunnels with the lava lake. They seem almost confused about how to get out. Eventually, though, they find the exit. They make periodic glances behind them, searching for the entity.
What the heck?
Back on the surface, the player's text begins to fall apart. We need a cobblestone generator. It's readable, but about a third of the text is blacked out. It happens again when the player says, "Here looks good." This time, exactly half of the characters are removed. They begin to build the cobble generator, but they mess it up. When they place the lava, it immediately turns into obsidian.
Man.
So it's back to the caves to get more lava. At one point they say something, but it's so blocked out that we can only see a single E.
E.
This will be the last text the player speaks on the entire channel. The player again moves in an odd, paranoid fashion as they return to the surface. This time, they get the design correct.
Let's go. Now we can play Skyblock.
The conclusion is bizarre. The music is strange. The footage suddenly cuts to brighter
Oh
colors.
god, my eyes.
There's audio with no visuals. We hear the piano melody from previously. The fade out is chopped up. What happened to the clean editing that we're used to seeing?
My fucking eyes, man.
There is so much odd stuff in this video. The wool not being counted, the text becoming obscured, the paranoid movement, the bizarrely inaccurate editing. It feels very much unlike the previous videos, which were clean, structured, and directed. It's as if the player suddenly lost a large chunk of their skill set. Now, it's time to talk about something that I haven't mentioned. Every video we've seen so far is actually unlisted, and they're all on a playlist entitled Recollection. Apparently, this wasn't always the case. If we use the Wayback Machine, we can see that the videos were public as recently as June 22nd, 2025. Something has clearly changed since then. The profile picture is different. Instead of the window in the house, it's a red flower in the grass. Furthermore, the channel now has 7 distinct public videos. Most of these are in a group called Playlist Number 1, and they're quite a bit different to the Recollection videos. To start, the titles have leading numbers, 0009 Tower, 0010 Harvest, and so on. These are the correct count, but why did the title format suddenly change? Let's watch 0009 Tower.
No welcome back. I don't feel very welcome.
No welcome back. We see the static shot of the house, but there's no text explaining what's going to happen in today's video. The player has made some progress since the last episode. We watch them explore their world.
Yo, they have another portal. What the fuck is that?
We can see a new skyscraper that was constructed.
Oh, fire pit? Cute, cute.
As they approach it, the music briefly cuts out. It does return soon, though.
What the?
Actually, come to think of it, the music is quite different. It's a full jazz group, not just a single piano. It's actually pretty groovy.
Thanks, narrator. It's actually pretty groovy. Yo, we got the jams on.
The player walks up the spiral staircase in their new building. But suddenly, the music begins to play in reverse. On the roof, the player looks over their world. We hear a trumpet melody.
So, like, call me crazy, but I feel like this isn't the player anymore. Is it just me? Like, it just doesn't seem right.
They jump down into the water landing zone, and the jazz music resumes once more. The player takes a minecart down their tunnel, where we see that there's a fairly extensive network, including booster
Holy
rails.
shit, man. Okay, he's been busy.
The player shows us the tunnels for a moment, then rides the minecart back up to the top. The video fades out as the player examines their world. Where's the thanks for watching? Where's the commentary?
That's what I'm saying.
Why is this video so short? But in the following episode, we
Guys, my YouTuber's washed. What the fuck, man?
don't even get the intro shot from the house. The player has gone right into gameplay. They are in a new orchard and they plant trees, but they do them in an odd pattern, chunks of 6 or 9. In Minecraft Beta, that's not the right way to do it. You want single trees that are spaced apart. And what's the deal with these random dirt mounds that keep getting in the way? In previous videos, the player was so meticulous. Why are they suddenly making these incomprehensible designs? Then the player constructs a staircase that goes straight into the water. Why? They even miss a stair block at the top. Night falls, but instead of heading straight back to their house, they punch a few sheep first. When they finally do leave, we can see that the pathway is not fully lit. Why would they design it like this? And instead of going to the main house, the player sleeps in the fishing house, something we've never seen them do before. But it gets stranger when the
Where's Hector? Where's the doggo? Oh,
player goes beneath the orchard. We find that the entire structure is floating on the ocean. It's not lit up, and it's infested with zombies. Compare this to the construction of the house, when the player was so detail-oriented that they specifically added some mushrooms to make it more realistic. Why is what we're seeing now so different? Well, when we look at all the evidence, we're forced to consider the possibility that the footage we're seeing is not the original player. Let's think back for a moment. When did these changes in editing, gameplay, construction, and commentary begin? It happened when the player encountered the anomaly in the attic. When this occurred, the player said that they were unable to move. Then we watched as the anomaly approaches the camera, leading to the end of the video. Is it possible that the anomaly has taken control of the channel? This would explain why everything is so different, and why it changed all the original videos to unlisted. The new video's tags are also different. It contains the channel name misspelled. The anomaly is attempting to replicate what the original player did, but it can't get it quite right. It has major mistakes in editing, it builds somewhat incomprehensible structures, it does not construct the new structures on screen. The actions we are seeing are those of someone completely different. Which, of course, does lead us to ask about what happened to the original player. And why is the anomaly doing this? Perhaps the next video will provide some more clues.
I sure fucking hope so.
There is no intro title.
I don't have an intro.
There is no view from inside the house. Instead, there are a sequence of mostly static shots of the world. We see the statues, the orchard, the dock, the sandcastles large and small, the subway, the forest, the orchard again. At the end, the player does move through the orchard, but there's no UI. A tree is half broken. Then we finally do see the house shot, but extremely dark.
What the hell?
The 12th video is called New House Tour, which is odd because we've already had a new house video.
Yo, what the fuck is that, man? Yo, 0 out of 10. What is this house, bro?
We see that there is a different house near the dock. It is constructed entirely of wood. About 30 seconds in, the player looks in the distance to see a lone rose on a grass block. Then they continue to show us the inside of the house. At minute 17, we hear a cave sound. The player does not seem to care. After about 3 minutes, we see the player showing us the house from the outside. A chicken disappears and then respawns. We can hear the sounds of the giants as the audio begins to fade out, with a repeating booming noise. (0013) Lighthouse. The players constructed one next to the red rose. There is nothing inside.
He's cheating. He's cheating. He's cheating off screen.
They go to the Nether, where they have made a cobblestone enclosure. There's the sound of people talking, accompanied by a static image of the statues. In fact, if we look closely, most of the statues have been destroyed.
Yeah, where are all the statues?
Comparing with shots from earlier in the series, we can see that large chunks are missing. Instead, they've been replaced by a rose flower on top of each of them. However, the original statue remains, its eyes lit up. We hear a statue moan, and the video cuts. The player has just exited the Nether portal. They walk into the darkness of the wilderness, something the original player would never do. They take a hit from a spider, but with no response. The player reaches the rose and dandelion pair. They stare for several moments. The video concludes with a trumpet on the right side.
Oh, it's the flower that he put a flower next to.
Is this confusing yet? Don't worry, we'll go through all of this in more detail later. But for now, it's time to strap in. I told you this series would get crazy, and these final 2 videos will not disappoint.
Epic. What the fuck, man? What did that say? Puppy, slain by zombie. We miss you. Hector, no! Oh my god, he died! He let Hector wait. Why is there another grave? That's suspicious. That's weird. What is happening, man?
Video 14 is called Over and Over and Over and Over and Over and Over and Gone. The video is a sequence of several gameplay shots. The audio is cacophonous with multiple independent instruments fighting for control. It's reminiscent of the composer Charles Ives. After a minute, it begins to repeat in double time. There's the sound of a crowd. The repetitions continue as the video becomes increasingly chaotic and damaged. It ends with a cry from the statues. Things are falling
Yo, was that fucking R2-D2?
apart quickly. The anomaly controlling the player has totally lost coherence. They behave in irrational ways, damaging themselves with a cactus and attempting to mine bedrock. The editing is collapsed as well. Speed is inconsistent, footage is melded together, the audio is unlistenable. It only ends when the giant cries, perhaps in protest of what is occurring. But there's one final video on this channel, and it was released 2.5 months after the previous one.
2.5
It is
months?
called Looking Up, and it is the only video in a playlist entitled Blitz. The video begins, and we hear the statues talking to one another. You really need to watch the whole thing, so I'm going to play it for you alongside the best transcription that I've been able to produce.
Okay.
If you're anything like me, that last video gave you chills. The statues spend this entire series struggling to speak, but suddenly we hear them have an entire conversation with one another. After they talk among themselves for a minute, there's a flash of light. A person with a flower for a head approaches the table and sits down. It seems as though there's a laptop with a mouse. As soon as this happens, the statues begin speaking in unison, chanting a poem together. Looking Up is the final video on Wupioif. It serves as the conclusion to one of the most nuanced and complex Minecraft series that I've ever seen. And it leaves us with one central question. What in the world is going on here?
I wish I knew, man. I wish I knew.
Let's start with an overview of the story. Wupioif begins as a series of videos recorded in beta Minecraft. In each episode, the player focuses on building one structure, telling us what it is during an introduction sequence. The first construction they build is a glass cathedral, followed by statues, the house, the dock, the sandcastle, the greenhouse, and the subway. The most interesting creation is obviously the statues. They appear to be sentient. They're capable of making noises and talking, although it's not always obvious what they're saying. The players constructed these statues knowing that they can talk. In my new house, they prompt the statues to say hi. Despite being the one to build them, the player does not always know what the statues are saying. They also don't fully understand what the statues want or why they are acting in a certain way. For example, when the statues suddenly go silent, the player does not know why, and they try to figure it out several times. However, there's another force at work. This is the anomaly, which affects the world around the player. The initial indication of the anomaly is a cave sound in the daylight. It's heard in the very first video prior to the construction of the statues. As the series progresses, the anomaly becomes increasingly bold. Cave sounds are heard much more frequently. Zombies are spawned as the player falls asleep.
You know, it still makes me mad that he did not light up that attic. I feel like if he had done that, he would have avoided a whole lot of stress. Just
They're
saying.
woken in the middle of the night 3 times in a row. In my new house, the anomaly moves flowers from under the house. Then it moves an entire statue to the desert, albeit the smallest one. In Greenhouse, the anomaly takes up residence in the player's attic, and they begin to make creaking sounds in addition to the cave ambiance. Soon, the entity produces the sound of a trumpet. The player grows frustrated with the noises and eventually places a torch in the attic. This results in a sharp, harsh trumpet sound. It temporarily placates the entity, but it responds aggressively at the end of Subway, freezing the player and ending the video. Every episode beyond this moment has major differences, indicating that the anomaly now controls the channel. The intro changes and then is removed. The outro is different. There's an additional glow on the videos. Menus are seen and there's choppiness in the editing. The videos are also very short, none of the slow-paced stuff from earlier. The titles of the videos change, now being numbered, and all the previous videos are made unlisted. The gameplay changes too. The entity constructs bizarre structures and has mistakes in their building. We no longer see the majority of the construction on screen. But the entity becomes increasingly chaotic. In the over and over video, we see that the editing has become incomprehensible. The entity damages itself on a cactus. It tries to mine bedrock. It ends with the moan of a giant. Let's talk more about the anomaly. It appears to be related to the rose flower, which is first seen on the island by the lake with the statues. In fact, when the player is in this area, they hear a cave sound on multiple occasions coming from that direction. The first physical change to the world is when the anomaly removes roses from under the bridge. Furthermore, when the anomaly takes control of the channel, it changes the profile picture to be a rose. Once it has control, it builds most of its new structures by the Rose Island. The orchard overlooks it, as does the wooden house. The new lighthouse is constructed on the same island. It even changes the statues, removing most of their heads and replacing them with rose flowers. We'll get to the meaning of this in a moment. Another key aspect of the anomaly is its association with darkness. It utilizes cave sounds, which in vanilla are only heard in dark caves. The anomaly takes up residence in the darkness of the player's attic, and it screams when it's lit up. When the anomaly is finally seen, it appears like a dark figure. Once the entity takes control of the channel, it spends much more time in the darkness than the player ever did.
This is true.
It doesn't light up
He
the path
always
very
went
well,
to bed
leaving
on
portions of it
time.
in shadow. Unlike the player, it does not go to sleep as soon as night falls, even venturing deep into the wilderness in the dark. Finally, the second to last video takes place entirely at night. We've been given an interesting setup with this channel, but what does it actually mean? Now, before we start, I want to be clear that I'm not claiming that any of what I'm about to say is completely accurate. This series is so rich that each time I watch it, my interpretation changes a bit, and I actually delayed writing this portion of the script because my thoughts changed again after editing the main section. I highly encourage you to pause the video and watch the full series for yourself. Come up with your own ideas before you listen to mine. I don't want my theories to influence your thinking. First, let's consider the player. They represent a godlike figure in several important ways. The primary action that the player does is create. The entire purpose of the video is watching them do this. The very first creation we see is the cathedral, a place of worship. In the following video, they create conscious beings that face the cathedral, with one of them bowing down to it. They check to make sure that the statues are good by looking down at them through the glass. As the series progresses, they continue to create, modifying the game world in their own image. There's a piece of evidence that more directly connects the player to a god. When the anomaly takes control of the channel, we discover that the name of the Minecraft world is Beta Alpha Omega. This is a clear biblical reference. Alpha and Omega are the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet, and they're used as a symbol of the timelessness of God. I am the Alpha and the Omega, says the Lord God, who is and who was and who is to come, the Almighty.
Wait, I didn't even
But
think
unlike
of
this
that.
god, the player has significant limitations. They're a Beta Alpha Omega, not fully featured. The player is not omniscient. They do not always understand what the statues are saying. They also don't seem to know what the statues want when they go silent, choosing to build them random things that they can't use. And the player, despite creating the statues, has constructed them in a severely limited form. They cannot move and they can barely speak.
Yeah, but like, how do we know that the entity didn't change? Like, because you can change the name of the file. How do we know it didn't change the name?
Throughout the series, the player is contrasted to the anomaly. It's an earthly power, inherently part of the game itself, and in a parallel to the player, the anomaly has agency. It's able to move around, create sounds, and even teleport objects. Thus, the story has three primary characters. The player and the anomaly are foils, powerful beings with their own unique capabilities and limitations.
Hector.
This leaves the statues as the third group, substantially less capable than either the player or the anomaly. The statues find themselves naturally caught between the two powers. It is notable that as the anomaly begins its escalation in the world, the statues go silent. When the cube is teleported away, the main group says nothing. When the attic noises begin to intensify, the statues again do not speak. It appears as though they are collaborating with the anomaly, or at the very least, not getting in the way. In the second to last video, the statues have their heads replaced with rose flowers. We then hear the statues have an extended conversation among themselves, something they have never done before. I don't think this is a coincidence. My reading is that the rose anomaly was able to provide something that the player couldn't, the ability to move around, and eventually the ability to talk easily. We are seeing the statues within the roses in the final video,
I didn't think of
being
that.
transformed to be like the anomaly. Here, the statues speak of the anomaly with reverence. We are not worthy. We know there is something beyond us. She lives in the flower. The final lines of the series are a unison prayer. Give us a soul, then let us see the rose. The statues have turned to the anomaly as a way to escape their limited physical forms. The final conversation occurs after some portion of this transformation is complete. However, the statues are divided. One of the voices that we hear in the conversation is the cube that got teleported to the desert.
Please.
Oh yeah, our British cube.
And this cube often clashes with the others during their discussion. The statues talk about how different the player is from them. They look nothing like us, act nothing like us. They are strange. But the cube pushes back. Ah, but what if they're like us in other ways? But what other ways are there? Later, the cube argues with another statue about whether or not the player is deranged. The consensus is that he is, creating the statues in such a limited physical form for no reason other than the enjoyment of the player. But the cube again resists, saying that the player is not deranged. Unlike the rest of the group, the cube has a positive view of the player, and it's because they had a unique interaction with them. When the cube gets teleported to the desert, it cries out for help, and the player responds to it, building it a friend so that it won't be lonely. The cube sees the player as
True.
empathetic, someone who genuinely does care about the statues, even if they don't always get it perfect. When he is teleported, presumably by the entity, the player asks if any of the other statues want to go live with him, but none of them respond. I do have to wonder if the cube was expelled by the group because he already had sympathies for the player. Or
That's exactly what I was thinking. Whenever he was like, oh, well, when he got teleported, I was like, well, what if he got kicked out? What if they said, you don't agree with us, so you can't sit with us?
maybe the anomaly tested moving him because he was the smallest. Either way, the remaining statues don't seem all that upset that their brother is gone, which to me suggests that they
They
were
don't
in
give
on
a
it.
fuck.
As the statues continue their discussion, they specifically contrast the player to the anomaly, who we learn is a female. While the player simply watches as the statues struggle, the anomaly wanders around. The statues say that they are not worthy of her. When the cube wonders if there is anything beyond them, the group responds with an expression of faith in the anomaly. We know there is something beyond us. She lives in the flower. One interesting thread throughout this entire thing is that the player does seem to have some awareness of the anomaly's existence, beyond just the strange cave noises. In My New House, they hear a cave sound by the flower, and they respond with, sorry. And in
Yeah, that's
Greenhouse, they see a
true.
rose in the distance and add a dandelion next to it, saying, not alone. It is here that we learn that the player's symbol is the dandelion. It aligns with their yellow text. Interestingly, once the anomaly has control, it reciprocates by returning to the same location, staring at the pair of flowers. There are other instances that suggest that the player is trying to connect to the anomaly. In fact, they build a literal bridge to the
Oh, I
island
forgot
with
about the red and the
blue
yellow.
on the center. They also persistently use both flower colors in their builds. But perhaps the most intriguing gesture is the player's seemingly intentional decision to leave dark places for the entity. They do not venture out into the nighttime. This is the anomaly space. They keep the area under their house dark. They even maintain a dark attic, despite the increasingly obnoxious sounds. I mentioned this earlier, but there's no logical reason to keep part of your house unlit, especially
Been
one that
saying
leaves your
that.
bed exposed to the monsters. In my mind, this suggests that they're doing it to intentionally appease the entity. And yet, the attempts at reconciliation fail. It's not entirely clear why, but it may have to do with their contrasting natures. The player's fundamental essence involves light, order, and creation. The anomaly's nature is darkness, chaos, and transformation. Perhaps it was simply impossible for both to exist simultaneously. The tension culminates in the moment when the anomaly reveals itself and takes control. The player finds themselves frozen. Why can't I move? The text is shaking in red, the same format seen whenever the statues speak. The anomaly puts the player in the position of a statue, forcing them to experience the hell they've created for the giants.
Dude, okay, wait. His interpretation of this is actually really good. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't know where he was gonna take it, but yeah, that's definitely... I see why he said that you should go and make your own interpretation, because, like, this is really good.
Now, this is less directly supported, but I think there's a possibility that the player was placed into a statue. When the anomaly has completed the rose transformation, there is one statue that remains. I have to wonder if this is where the player ended up.
Ooh, maybe.
Once it has control, the anomaly is able to give the statues what they want, transforming them and allowing them to speak. But it comes at a cost. The anomaly is unequipped to run the world and the channel, and it gets progressively less capable at both. By the end, it behaves in a completely erratic way. The title of the video is Over and Over and Gone, which suggests that perhaps the collapse culminates with the destruction of the entity. The final video concludes with an interesting sequence, the prayer. Unfortunately, this is one of the most difficult portions to transcribe, and so we do need to limit our reliance on it. However, we can at least tell that the statues are chanting in unison. As they do this, a person with a dandelion for a head approaches a desk, sits down, and begins using the computer. This is the player, although I don't think they literally have a flower for a head. Instead, I read this as a way to symbolically confirm who we're seeing. This ending sequence is notable because it draws attention to the multiple realities at work. This is real-life footage of a real-life person. Unlike the player, the statues are constructed in the Minecraft world. They're in the computer. The final discussion suggests that they believe the anomaly can take them beyond this, but ultimately they're just code in a game. The same is true for the anomaly. While it managed to take control of the game and run the channel, it did not affect the real-life player. All they had to do was close the game and walk away. In this sense, the player is the truly godlike figure. They're ultimately unbounded by the events in the Minecraft world. They exist in a different realm altogether. I want to explore the meaning of the title, Looking Up. There are several possible interpretations, each with some degree of support. To start, the statues spend most of the series looking upwards towards the cathedral. The player even enters it and looks down upon them, literally standing in a higher position. However, looking up could also relate to the prayer at the end. The statues are looking up in a metaphorical sense to the anomaly, which they view as a god. A third interpretation is that they are physically looking up from the computer screen. All of this analysis leads us to the central thematic struggle that this series explores. Where should one place their faith? The statues are forced to make this decision. Should they trust in their heavenly creator, the player? On one hand, the player offers stable control over the game world. They continually improve it instead of destroying it. However, the player, intentionally or not, has created the statues such that they are extremely restricted. They are unable to move and they can barely speak. While the player may have a benevolent heart, it is either incapable or unwilling to give the statues additional agency. Or, should the statues trust in the earthly anomaly? It is powerful and transformative. Unlike the player, it's able to understand what the statues want, and capable of affecting it to a greater extent than the player. However, the anomaly is chaotic and unpredictable. It does not understand the world like the player does, and it proves incapable of maintaining its stability. Ultimately, the statues decide to have faith in the anomaly. It wrests control from the player and puts the statues into flowers. And yet, their ultimate fate remains ambiguous. They find themselves in a bizarre dark void where they can no longer see.
Yeah, they're in like
it's
a
not
limbo.
entirely obvious if the situation is better than what they had. And so, the central question is this: did the statues place their faith correctly? In my view, the series does not offer a clear answer. It's open for us, the viewer, to decide.
I think those statues are fucking stupid, bro. That's what I think. I think they were lied to. I think, the statues are dumb. Statues are dumb.
Now, there are some other things that I want to mention here. I've tried to build my interpretation with the knowledge that it's difficult to tell what the statues are saying in the final video. Thus, I tried to avoid over-reliance on text that wasn't obvious. However, I should mention that since the statues use pronouns, we don't actually know for sure who they're referring to. During the course of my investigation, I changed opinions several times on which of the characters is the player, and on if they is a third entity, perhaps the viewer. I also think there's a possibility that the statues realize they made a mistake, and that their final prayer is them actually returning their faith to the player. The chant could instead be showing the story of their false belief. But again, the voices in this section are particularly muddy, so unfortunately we can't rely on it too much. If anyone has a better transcription, please let me know.
No, I think that's pretty accurate,
Another aspect
honestly.
that warrants further exploration is the use of music in this series. To my knowledge, it was all written by the creator, and it's excellent. It does such a good job of building the mood, and it really contributes to the uniquely weird feeling of this series. Bravo. But the music plays an interesting role in the story as well, and it morphs quite dramatically as the series progresses. The Glass Cathedral video contains vanilla Minecraft music, but every video beyond it has custom music. Glass Cathedral ends with a sped-up sequence of the player mining. We can hear the Minecraft music sped up as well, and there's a dancing cat. This is an indicator that we should be doing the same thing with the original music on this channel. Many of the early tracks are extremely slow. We can only clearly hear their structure by speeding them up 4 to 8 times. Furthermore, multiple speeds of the same track are often heard.
Down.
Take, for example, the distorted descending piano line at the beginning of My New House. It's heard again later in the video. Or what about the 4/4 track from the beginning of Sandcastles? It is heard multiple times throughout the video at various speeds, with additional developments like strings.
Dude, the way you would have never known that it was like an actual like full-length song like that unless you sped it up. Fuck, man. And it sounds so good too.
It is in the following video several times as well. It is notable that the music appears to react to things in the world. It cuts out at certain times, especially when the player sees something weird. Also, once the entity takes over, the outro music changes. There's probably a deeper analysis that's possible here, although this project is so complex that I didn't have time to really dig into it. If I were to make a follow-up video, this would be an area to explore. A different element that I haven't discussed is the trumpet sounds that the entity makes. Recall that the entity progresses from cave sounds to creaking to the trumpet. I think that the entity is using this as a way to signal to the statues where it's at in the process of taking control of the player.
Ooh.
The first trumpet we hear is the long outdoor blast in the subway video, the same episode where the anomaly takes control. There's a more complex melody heard in the attic with two trumpets together. Then, once the anomaly has full access, it climbs to the top of the tower and plays another melody, broadcasting its success to the statues.
Okay, but like, what's with the jazz music then?
In Lighthouse, we hear a multi-part trumpet melody. We can actually isolate this pretty well by inverting the phase of one of the tracks. The trumpet is heard again when the anomaly revisits the dandelion and rose pear.
Interesting. I feel like... Yeah, but like, you could argue, because didn't they use like horns like to signal like war and stuff like that? I mean, you could argue something with that. Although I am not very smart, so I probably couldn't argue something like that. But like, you could add that to it.
I find Wtuber to be one of the more fascinating Minecraft web series that I've ever covered. Its beauty is in its simplicity, its ability to explore complex themes through slow-paced construction gameplay. I find the vibe to be really unique, and I hope that this analysis video is able to adequately support the source material. Let me know what you think in the comments. What are your theories? I am certain that my interpretation is not exactly correct, so I'm really interested in hearing your perspective. There's a chance that I'll do a follow-up video with a more refined analysis, so if there's something I missed, please let me know. If you want, join the RGN Discord for a more detailed discussion. I actually found this channel because someone on the server recommended it to me. It turns out that another YouTuber named Dialco mentioned it in one of his videos, and there was a commenter who really wanted me to cover it. It's a funny little full circle moment. Don't forget to check out Displate using the link in the description. If you want to watch another similar video, check out this one here. This has been RGN. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Damn, I really like this guy's voice, by the way. His narrating is really, really good. I really like it. But no, what I was saying with the war horns is like more of a like how the player just uses like piano music, which is more of a like, I feel like it's more of a peaceful like just like a peace, like not like a peace offering, but like a symbol of peace. Yeah, if you like contrast it with the trumpets, it's very harsh and like, you know, I guess it's just fitting to what he already described, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think damn, I didn't realize this was like an actual ARG. I thought this was like his story. Knowing it's like an actual ARG kind of makes me want to go and watch it and like try and figure out what it is. That's actually really cool. Because like the last one that we watched, I don't know if it was an ARG. I think it was just like a story. So this was really epic. I really like this video.